What is that Jerusalem on earth?
The Jerusalem on earth is just a mapped out piece of land, I guess, over in next to Egypt.
And who points to that Jerusalem? Sarah? Or
is it saying that Hagar points to that Jerusalem?
Then you didn't read it with understanding. See, this is why I got to ask you questions. If you don't understand, you're not going to get the point.
Stopping me from fully understanding is, then why are they in conflict if the Jewish people over there are not God's chosen people? Why is there still such conflict then with
what does that got to do with anything? If the Bible says they're not God's chosen people, what the hell does a conflict got to do with proving otherwise?
To answer that question, I already answered it earlier. Remember, people, when I said it's a way to control so-called Christians and manipulate their minds, also to desensitize people to genocide and create racism. Oh, these people are greater than us. They're better than us. When you've got a whole bunch of people, millions of people, saying and agreeing, oh, these people are better than us because they're God's people, you're opening the door to racism. Because if I say, hey, black people are better than me, my race, black people are better than my race. So when I attack you, brown people, Hispanics, it's not about race, man. It's God. If I was racist, I wouldn't say that black people are better than me. It's not that I'm racist. It's not that I don't like you because you're brown. It's just God's will. See? Because black people are better than me, and I'm better than you. You understand? You see how it opens the door for slavery, and it justifies it? It says, no, 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 I'm not racist. Because this other race is better than me. I'm not a white supremacist. Because I say black people are better than me, and they're better than you too. But I'm also better than you. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm going to read it again.
Here, you read it. Galatians 4:21-26.
Tell me, you who want to be under the law, are you not aware of what the law says? For it is written that Abraham had two sons, one by the slave woman and by the free woman. His son by the slave woman was born according to the flesh, but his son by the free woman was born as a result of a divine promise. So I'm just...
But see, that seems weird because in real life, the slaves and the impoverished, the oppressed, are more spiritual.
Also, on that note, those who accept the mark of the beast, and those who say they are Jews but are not, but are of, or also, in other words, belong to the synagogue of Satan. Those who say they are Jews, but they are actually of the synagogue of Satan, directly ties to those who accept the mark of the beast. Now, the mark of the beast, like a mark or, an idea that says genocide's okay. I'd say that's a pretty nasty thing to accept, right? Especially when you don't really know what it's all about, only what they tell you. And to promote that when you really don't know what's going on, that's a bad thing to do. Yeah. If the beast wants to slaughter a whole group of people and somehow they get you to support it, that's nasty work, huh? Mark of the beast, and those who say they are Jews but are not, but they belong to the synagogue of Satan. What is the synagogue of Satan? Maybe it's the people who protect these so-called people. Maybe. In the past 10, 20 years, you know how they had these watch lists and everything, and they put Christians on this watch list for radical whatever? Well, if they go along with the narrative, right, they won't be profiled as extremists, right? See, there's a fear that they will figure out what's going on then they will be considered extremists if they go against the narrative. Remember? Just before Trump got elected or just after, somewhere around that time. Remember me saying, I feel like we're entering another 9/11 era. And what was that 9/11 era? You go against the narrative, you get labeled as a terrorist or an extremist. And that's what's happening now. Well, it will, I'm sure, if you go against the narrative regarding those people who say that they are those people, right? Right. See, the Christians, there's been talk, like I said, for decades after 9/11, of Christians being labeled as extremist groups. As long as they go along with this narrative, I don't see that happening. You understand what I'm saying? Just like if you didn't go along with the narrative of, the Iraqi war and the Middle East and Afghanistan and all that, then you got targeted. You got monitored. You were the ones that they created the Patriot Act for, to spy on and all that, because you're a threat to their narrative. What narrative? And why? The mark of the beast. Part of it. The synagogue of Satan. Because if you're not a part of the synagogue of Satan, by the way, I made a good point years and years and years ago about after 9/11, they're watching everything. They're letting you know that they know everything. They see everything. They're monitoring all the phone calls, all the texts. But yet we still have a drug epidemic. People freely selling drugs. Right? That don't make sense, right? Mark of the beast. As if they couldn't stop drugs if they wanted to. They know who's got them. They know who's selling them. They know where they're coming from. In fact, oftentimes they come from them. Oh boy, the mark of the beast. The synagogue of Satan.